Think not the Lord came to bring peace on this earth. He came, give us a sword. Shalom in the name of the Lord, everybody. Welcome to Time of Night Watchman. Time of Night Watch time. Commentary, information, Bible, prophecy, and stuff. Woo, boy, it's like as we get closer and closer, I assume nearer to the up and coming judgment, we get more and more insight of what's to come. From what I saw in brief, it's going to be really, really dark judgment. So that in tow, I just want to share with you this coming judgment, return of the old gods, which we discussed before. This is not going to be for the faint-hearted, TOTK. So if you have children in the room, or you're afraid you might get nightmares, which you probably will, you don't want to watch this. Pass it on for another time, for another place, for a different person. So this is what we have learned in a short period of time in the up and coming judgment, that it's going to be pretty dark. And that said, let's use some scripture and address a certain book that I think some of you, if not most of you, should be familiar with. The Book of Enoch. Yes, the Book of Enoch addresses some of the earlier things, and understand that, to understand the beginning, you have to understand, it helps you understand the ending, and now that we're in the ending, you should go back to the beginning so you know what's going on and why. Interesting enough, Revelation 12 came into mind in light of today's conversation with other peoples. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Yeah, this kind of coincides actually with the up and coming judgment. It's just all these interesting coincidences, or some people might say coinkydinks, and it'd be quite terrifying for being on the recipient side of this coming judgment, as if even those who are not to receive it, witnessing it from afar. So let's get further into that and what we're talking about in regards to the coming judgment, if not return of the old gods. The name has come up, Abazoo. I'm sure many of you don't even know that name, but interestingly enough, in Ephesians 6:12 it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." So this old god, if you will, which is a demon, is going to make its presence known in one form or another, and we're going to address in the scale and how we suspect it's going to play out. There are signs already there. People are seeing it happen in person. So I just got a phone call today from a very, very close friend, my war buddy, and yeah, he seems to be sitting on the powder keg, which is about to erupt. You remember, not but a week or so ago, I talked about a dream in which all these gates are opening up. There's no doubt in my mind that this probably has something to do with that as well, too, pertaining to the up and coming judgment. So let's talk a little bit about Abazoo. Who or what is Abazoo? I know. Well, in the myth and in the folklore of the Near East and Europe, Abazoo is the name of a female demon. Abazoo was blamed for miscarriages and infant mortality and was said to be motivated by envy, as she herself was infertile. In the Coptic Egypt, she is identified as Alabasandria, and in the Byzantine culture with Gulu. But in various texts surviving from the syncretic magical practice of antiquity, and in early and medieval era, she is said to have many or virtually innumerable names. Needless to say, we'll see some images and pictures of this demon, if not demoness. So why is this pertinent? Well, it has a lot to do with, we're going to get to that. Anyway, furthermore, in the late antiquities, a testament of something known as a Testament of Solomon. It's an interesting read. Abazoo or Abazooth is described as having a greenish, gleaming face with disheveled serpent-like hair. The rest of her body is covered by darkness. The speaker, which in this case is King Solomon, encounters a series of demons, binds and tortures it in turn, and inquires into their activities. Then he metes out punishment or controls them as he sees fit. Put to test, Abazoo says that she does not sleep, but rather wanders the world looking for women about to give birth. Given the opportunity, she will strangle newborns. She claims also to be the source of many other afflictions, including deafness, eye trouble, obstructions of the throat, madness, and bodily pain. And yes, it looks a lot like succubus, doesn't it? That's not succubus. That's Medusa. I'm sorry, Medusa. Getting all my demons and demonesses all mixed up. But the point of the matter is, this is basically, I guess, a fragment or a figment what we're dealing with when it comes to the up and coming judgment. And I'm sure you're all asking, well, why this? Why this demoness of all things? Interesting enough, it's all connected to child sacrifices. We've had 49 years of Roe versus Wade. 49 years. Do the math. Very interesting if you think about it in retrospect. 49 years Roe versus Wade. In order for a people to have peace, there must be a judgment. So a judgment is coming. And because of all the children have been sacrificed, whether it be in the name of illegal abortion or the other things that are going on within the confines of the satanic order, this demoness is going to require a recompense because they've stopped sacrificing, or we've stopped abortions, which is really interesting enough. So God is going to give a little taste of our own medicine. I guess that's the best way to put it. God is going to give us a little taste of our own medicine. How is this going to play out? I'm going to get to that. I think the biggest judgment, this judgment pertaining to us, is basically pointing more towards the apathy in the church as a whole, or as a country, if you will. I mean, we were supposed to be a Judeo-Christian country. How do we go from Judeo-Christian, from a Puritan mindset, to basically satanic/demonic country? Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, the irony, if will, if you listen to the Islamic jihadists, they call us the great Satans. They're not far from wrong. Sorry, if the shoe fits, you have to wear it. So the bottom line is, in retrospect, 49 years of bloodshedding of the innocents, it is no doubt in my mind that something of this magnitude is occurring. How is it going to occur? Well, this is my suspicion, because a lot of people, not unlike myself, are having to deal with things like exorcism. So my guess is there'll be a demonic possession en masse. Yeah, this is, we could call this, I guess, Abazoo's recompense. So because we are stopped, or decided to stop sacrificing children, this demon or demoness is going to make her play against the peoples of this, if not the United States of America, this planet. So we can almost expect a large demonic possession in mass. Yeah, it's bad. It sounds really bad, but then again, look what we've done. I mean, God, you got to remember, God is just. He's a just God. And again, if He's releasing or allowing this demoness to be released upon us, and all these demonic possessions in mass, we can expect. I expect a great deal of bloodshed. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, the one thing the Lord did tell me pertaining to His justice is that He is just. His justice will be measure per measure, blood for blood. Now we know approximately 60 million plus children have been murdered from the inside of a mother's womb, and we don't even know how many countless have been sacrificed on a satanic altar, literally. With 1.5 million Americans disappearing each year, thousands of children being sacrificed, it's no wonder that these events are occurring and coming upon us. Psalm 89:14 says, "Justice and judgment are the habitation of thy throne. Mercy and truth shall go before thy face." So we could pretty much expect this kind of judgment. I mean, we could be wrong here, because like I said, this is just pieces and parts of things we're picking up in the course of the last few months, and even more recently, current events. We expect this is going to occur. I wouldn't be in the inner cities. I mean, if you're in the inner city, I mean, like I said, the Lord is your high tower. I'm not going to tell you to evacuate, escape, run away. This is between you and God. But the signs are already there. I remember that one dream about that we will see a prequel or a sign of the coming judgment. It's already showing up in mass. And I've seen other videos going on in other cities. And there clearly is a demonic possession going on in mass. So be wary and be aware of your surroundings. My dad used to tell me perspicacity, which basically means know everything and anything that's going on around you at all times. So be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what's going on around you at all times. And above all things, in light of the circumstance, pray. We need to pray. Like I said, we have the name of the demon or demoness, if you will, who is going to releasing her minions upon us, seeking recompense for the sacrificing of children. And it's I don't know. I mean, I know what you say. I know this stuff sounds crazy. It sounds way out there, far-fetched, especially if you have not been educated in this area, especially being informed of things on demonology and the occult and Satanism, which is again part of what we do. We know your enemy. It's just one of the things we do in the areas of infiltrating the satanic order. So above all things, pray. This thing is coming. There's no stopping it. This thing is coming. Again, God is just, and if God is going to use this as a judgment upon us, we should be prepared and made ourselves ready for whatever direction we need to go when the events start occurring more dramatically. As for me and my house, we shall serve the Lord. And on that note, this is Time of Night Watchman. Time of Night Watch Time. Commentary, information, Bible prophecy stuff. See ya. Don't want to be ya. And remember, there's only one way, one truth, and one life. In Yeshua's name, amen.